Hello and welcome to this video, a video I've not made for a very long time. It is time to the start of the championship season for Southampton, obviously travelling away to Sheffield Wednesday in the first game. We're going to talk about probably quite a lot because obviously I haven't made a video for a while. So we're going to start off with Russell Martin. Obviously I've only watched one preseason game, which was what I streamed, the Bournemouth game. Obviously all the other ones were sort of at awkward times for me, so the Bournemouth one is at a good time, so I watched it. It wasn't too bad. Obviously, you could sort of see the identity that he wanted to do in the philosophy and whatnot. But very early doors, obviously, there's probably players he doesn't want that we can't get rid of, and obviously players that he wants to bring in. But let's talk about transfers, because obviously Russell Martin's something we can judge over time, especially after seeing a few games. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to see a few games when they're just pre-seasons, because the whole point of pre-season is just to get out there, get some sharpness, and then try and play regardless of trying to win the game, just trying to play the football that he wants you to play. So with transfers, I'm surprised at how many people are still here. I expected a lot more people to go, which is quite nice. We've actually sort of hired someone who said, nah, fuck you cunt, pay the price or fuck off, which is brilliant. It's actually a nice change from basically a pure selling club to at least sell for, a good value. Obviously, Salisu left today for 20 million euros or 18 million euros or something like that. Levy is obviously, I'm pretty sure, going to leave by the end of the window. I'd be surprised if he didn't. West Ham apparently dropped their interest in James Ward-Prowse, which is nice. So we actually got a surprisingly pretty full team at the moment still. Haven't particularly made many signings because obviously we can't really buy without really selling anyone. Because we have quite an inflated squad. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So for our first lineup against Sheffield Wednesday, it's going to be a lot stronger of a team than I thought it was going to be when we got relegated. But, yeah, we'll talk about, obviously, the lineup that I want to have for the Sheffield Wednesday game. I'll try and line it up as much as possible with how Russell Martin would sort of like to play. I'll do my best. Now, obviously, for sort of predictions, not so much this game, but for a season as a whole, obviously, most people will go through what they expect of the season, expectations, and then obviously the position they predict. I feel like it's pretty difficult to predict our situation right now because there could be at least 6 people leaving by the end of the window. Maybe a few faces come in, and that sort of changes the whole landscape. So it is difficult for me to predict. I would be disappointed if we were definitely 100% disappointed to not get playoffs. I'd be probably still pretty disappointed if we only got maybe, not top 3, top 4. But my expectation is to at least be close to promotion at minimum. Obviously, to get promoted is not easy. It's not a difficult league. It's a difficult league, and it's not easy to get promoted from. So I don't exactly expect us to go in there and walk it. Obviously, as I said before, Lavia may be leaving, and some other players might be leaving as well. So it's difficult to sort of understand the depth of the squad and how good the squad will be when there's still 3 weeks of transfer window left, and obviously heaps of players going to be coming and going. So, yeah, but in terms of the players who've signed, Manning, apparently one of the best left backs in the league last year, got him for 3, so that's always brilliant. A free transfer is basically a free hit, regardless of how well he plays. He didn't pay anything for him, so it's fine. And obviously he knows how Russell Martin wants to play, so that obviously helps with the sort of building of the philosophy when you've got a player coming in who's played under him for I don't know how long, but he knows exactly how he wants to play and can fit in straight away, so that's always good. And obviously, likes of Perot, I mean, I've forgot about him. I forgot about Bella Kotchap because they just haven't featured at all, so whether they'll be in and around the squad, I have no idea, but I'd say Manning would most likely be our starting left back. I expect Perot to leave, Bella Kotchap to leave, so yeah, it's a little bit difficult. I don't know what's happening with a lot of players in terms of who's staying, who's going. Obviously, we're very forceful with our sort of values of the players, so yeah, it's difficult to say where we're going to finish, but I would expect at least a top 4. I think that would be acceptable for me. Anything outside that would be a little bit disappointing, especially considering the sort of the players we have at the moment who haven't left yet, right? We still have players I would deem Premier League quality, especially Ward-Prowse. He's class. Apparently not. He's shit, according to some Saints fans. But, each to their own, I guess. So now we're going to do, I guess, my lineup. I'll be honest, it's difficult to say what I want because I haven't particularly watched many preseason games. I don't know who's really going to be in and around. But this is sort of my ideal team, I guess, with sort of who's been heavily featured in the preseason. So obviously we've got the worst keeper in the world, apparently, Gavin Bazunu. Obviously McCarthy's trash, so we don't want him, but people really be shitting on Bazunu. He makes mistakes, fine. You know, a lot of people do. He's young. He will improve, and especially dropping down to the Championship, not as difficult league as the Premier League. I mean, this could be his season to shine, especially with the way Russell Martin wants to play. Bazunu coming through the City Academy, very heavily technical, passing a lot from outside the box, out from the back. It's been a while. I'm struggling to put terms in. Yeah, playing out from the back, he's basically a sweeper keeper in some aspects, especially with the ball distribution. So he's obviously going to be a key part of Russell Martin's team. And obviously you don't want McCarthy kicking a ball because we've all seen that long enough and it's shit. Moving on to right back, Tino, I think is pretty stonewall spot. With Walker Peters, I don't know what's happening with him, whether he'll stay or go. I know Tino's probably going to stay. I don't think Newcastle are going to pay the valuation. So I would expect Tino to sort of be that main right back. When it comes to centre backs, I don't even know who we have at this point, but I'm guessing Russell Martin will play Sean Charles. Shay, fucking idiot, eh? This clearly I've not been looking enough. Shay, fuck off, car. I'm recording a video, you wanker. Shay Charles at centre back. I personally think he's a defensive mid stonewall. But obviously, if he has to fill in at centre back, he has to fill in at centre back. He will probably play, if I had to guess, Jack Stevens. Because Jack Stevens is a better ball playing centre back than a lot of the other ones. I don't think Bella Kotchap's going to feature, even though he would obviously be the first name for the centre backs. But I don't think he'll feature. So I guess the centre back pairing will be Shay Charles and Jack Stevens, which isn't bad, but I don't think Shay Charles is the greatest defender. He's brilliant at playing out from the back, especially from what I saw against Bournemouth. And he's very composed and very technical, which is basically why I'd like him defensive mid. But obviously, if Lavia's here, he'll play centre back. Left back, Manning. I don't think Perot's going to feature. I don't think he'll put Walker Peters left back when he has Manning. You know, he signed him. So I think he's obviously going to be one of the key players. So Manning left back. He plays like a 4-3-3, obviously variation with Manning sort of being an inverted fullback. For me personally, it'd just be like, you know, a casual 4-3-3. Obviously, Ward-Prowse, Lavia have to be there as the main sort of midfielders. Obviously, that's no-brainer. Any other pairing would make no sense. I know Smallbone's been good, but it's Lavia and Ward-Prowse. You know? Cam, Alcaraz, obviously. I've been very highly critical of Alcaraz, especially in that Bournemouth game, because he picked up positions where sort of like a centre mid role, and he decides to be, let's be flary. Not in our half. He gives the ball away a lot, doing stupid turns, no-look passes, those sort of things, which may work in the final third, but unnecessary to do in our third, basically. Defensive third. And obviously with Alcaraz, he also makes some really dumb decisions when it comes to passing. You can't sort of trust him. Like if you play the ball into Lavia into midfield with his back turned, you know, to the game, he's going to be able to play you out, right? But Alcaraz can't do that. And so I think him solely in a 10 role could work. But if we're playing a Holden 4-3-3 with a defensive mid, two centre mids, he's not in the team. Smallbone we're slotting in there. I do not trust Alcaraz in that role at all. At 10, fine. Play turn, that's fine. But not that centre mid role. Because I think sort of against Bournemouth, Amayo, the 16-year-old, I'm going to have to learn his name. I know I'm shocking. I'm bad at pronunciations. The Valdo player Cremo's taught me that. Fucking hell. But I think he was sort of playing Cam. Alcaraz was sort of centre mid. I don't like that. Definitely the 16-year-old talented though, for sure. So I hope to see him at least on the bench. I mean, I don't expect him to start, but definitely on the bench. When it comes to wingers, don't know what's happening with Sulemana. Obviously, Gineppo's ass. Elanucci's gone and Walcott's gone. So basically, most of our wingers from last season are gone. Stuart Armstrong, I think he hasn't really had much of a pre-season, so I don't think he would play. I'm guessing, I mean, my opinion would be Teller. I mean, Teller on the left or right. I don't know which wing he plays, to be honest. I didn't watch Burnley at all last season. So I guess Teller would be one of the wings. The other wing, Adozie's been featuring heavily recently. It could be a little bit risky to play those two at the same time. They're very attack-minded, especially Adozie. But I probably would put Adozie left wing, Teller right wing maybe. I mean, I saw that against Bournemouth and it sort of worked a bit. Especially the ball over the top to Teller. He was rapid getting him behind. And then striker-wise, I mean, I would go Adams, but I feel like he's just not featured as much. Obviously, I've only watched one game and he only played about 20 minutes. Mara's not been good from what I've heard. I haven't obviously watched many games of him. Ballard, I think, has still come back from fitness, so he's obviously not going to be involved for a while. And that leaves Adam Armstrong and Adams. So I guess I would predict Adam Armstrong to start up front. It's his division. You know, he's a championship Donny, so maybe he'll dominate. But that would be my predicted 11. Is it the 11 I'd want? Probably that as well. Obviously, I haven't seen enough. I don't know which players really fit the system yet. Because, you know, it's a possession-based system, so you can't have players that aren't good on the ball. Right, as simple as that. So you're not going to want to play a centre-back that can't pass out from the back. Bednarek, you know? So, yeah, that would be sort of the team predicted lineup. Again, I'll get better at predicting lineups and better at understanding how we want to play and who should fit there when I actually watch them play more. But that's basically that for that. Now, moving on to prediction for the game. I'm feeling pretty confident because we do have a manager who is really hardcore instilling his philosophy. And I've seen positive signs, you know, I've seen positive signs that we can play really nice stuff at times. So I'm pretty confident for a win, especially considering we haven't sold many players. I'm feeling pretty confident, you know, Lavia, Ward-Prowse playing the championship, you know, fuck me. That's pretty unfair, you know, so those two would play, and obviously like Tino and stuff like that, people that, you know, are really good players, really fucking good players. And obviously Teller was, team of the year last year for championship. Yeah, he's class, so I'll be pretty happy with that team. I'm feeling pretty confident, and I'll go for, I don't want to be a dump, 3-0. I'm feeling confident. Watch us lose 17-0. I'm going 3-0, just going fuck with. I'm just feeling overly optimistic, I guess, at the start of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't win this game. And obviously Sheffield Wednesday, I don't know anything about them. Obviously I saw their 4-0 comeback. Was it comeback from 4-0 in the playoffs? I haven't watched them. I don't really know anything about them. It's going to be a difficult transition for me. I've never watched Southampton in terms of, you know, when I'm in New Zealand. Obviously I've been to England. I've watched them play League One Championship, but I've never actually been over here when they're in those sort of divisions. So I've only really watched them in the Premier League. So it's going to be difficult for me to adjust to sort of heaps of teams I've never seen us play against and stuff like that, and players I've never seen before, and a different sort of quality of league that I've not experienced. So it'll be interesting, but I'm feeling overly confident for no reason for this upcoming game. But yeah, that's going to be it for that. I don't believe there's anything else to talk about. I can't remember what I was doing for half of this shit. I was just waffling as I go. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Obviously, watch along is on. I haven't exactly found a place that's going to stream all the games like consistently, but I just know the one that I currently have is going to be streaming it. So obviously we're good for the Sheffield Wednesday game, the Gillingham game, this is going to be hard. Gillingham game, I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. And the Carabao Cup, I don't know if I'll be able to do watch long and then so forth and so on. But yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling confident, and then I'm going to lose it all when we lose, but it is what it is. Yeah, so I did watch along, 15 minutes before or some shit. Obviously, you can see that there's a new setup behind me, which I'm hopefully going to get done by the time the games comes around. But yeah, I'll stop waffling and I'll stop fucking annoying you. Yeah, that's going to be the video. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed. And hopefully I'll see you for the watch long. And hopefully we get off to a good start, which is un-Southampton-like. But hopefully we can do it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.